Hello everybody, it is Emery48 here and welcome back to another video. Today your lonely neighborhood sports fan is going through the March Madness bracket. Probably the thing that puts brackets on the map. Best tournament style in any sport, really, is March Madness. We got men's and women's. We'll start with the men's bracket. Here it is. We have Duke versus Siena, and as good as Siena was in the MAC this year, they're not beating Duke. Ohio State, TCU. I feel like I have to put Ohio State through just because of name, branding. The 8-9 is always a tournament, is always a matchup that I'm never going to really have full faith in most of the time. We got St. John's, Northern Iowa. That's not where the upset's going to come. Kansas, California Baptist. Welcome to the tournament. You're going home. Louisville, South Florida. We're taking Louisville. Michigan State, North Dakota State. Cool to see them in. Big hockey school. Getting into basketball is very cool. But we're going Michigan State, UCLA, UCF. I feel like this one has potential. But I don't know. UConn, Furman, we're not even going to talk about that. Everyone knows. Florida, I don't care who comes out of this. Florida is nasty. They made Kentucky look tiny. And I know this isn't the best year Kentucky's ever had. But it was crazy. Clemson versus Iowa. We're going to go Iowa. Sure. Vanderbilt, McNeese. I feel like McNeese recently had a Cinderella run, and that does make me want to pick them. But I don't think it will be them this year. Nebraska, Troy. I like a Nebraska. North Carolina and VCU. I feel like you got to go Unk. Unk's just fun. Illinois, Penn. Penn's had a Cinderella run through their own tournament, I believe. But we're going to go in Illinois. St. Mary's and Texas A&M. I will go Texas A&M on that. And Houston over Idaho very easily. We'll go back to the top of the bracket. Arizona, LIU. Again, LIU did well to win their tournament, but it's just not happening. Villanova, Utah State. Not taking a 9 when Villanova's the 8. Wisconsin versus High Point. Couldn't even tell you where that school exists. Arkansas versus Hawaii. Good job, Hawaii, getting in. But you can go back to Hawaii now. BYU and Texas or somebody. Honestly, might be a controversial opinion. I don't think there's a point to the first 4. I think that's incredibly stupid. Just make it 64. Like, we don't need to be fighting for an 11 seed. If they're that good, why are they fighting? You know, I feel like there should only be fights for like 16 seeds. It doesn't make sense to me to be fighting over an 11 seed. We're going to pick BYU because I just spite any team that's in the plan. Gonzaga over Kennesaw. Miami, not Ohio, versus Missouri. I think we'll take Missouri. I think that's a fun upset for us. Purdue is going to beat Queens. Purdue as the 2 when they were, I think, the 7th seed in the Big Ten. It's crazy. But, I mean, the Big Ten's nasty. Michigan over, I don't care who comes in. Georgia or St. Louis. I like the look of the St. Louis team. We'll go with that. Texas Tech over Akron. Alabama over Hofstra. I don't even see Hofstra doing anything. Tennessee or Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio is fighting for an 11 seed against SMU. That's 2 MAC teams. I have no faith in anyone from the short MAC or the long MAC to be beating Tennessee. Virginia, Wright State. We're taking Virginia. Kentucky versus Santa Clara. Now, this might be controversial, but the way I saw Kentucky play, and I know it was against Florida, that's where I'm going to pick an upset in the first round. Iowa State, Tennessee State. We'll take Iowa State. Let's go back up to the top. This is always how I fill brackets out. I don't know if other people do it differently, but I always go down and then over. Duke, Ohio State. Duke's just so much better. St. John's, Kansas is a tough one, but I like Kansas out of that. Kansas is always who I end up picking to win these things, so we'll go with that. Michigan State, I really like the Michigan schools this year. UConn, UCLA, gotta go UConn. I also have some free furniture on the line for UConn if anyone in the Connecticut area knows about that. Florida over Iowa. Florida, I think is who I'm going to end up picking at the end of this bracket, just as a spoiler. We'll take Vanderbilt over Nebraska. UNC or Illinois? I am always an Illinois hater when they're in like this high seed, so we'll go UNC. Houston over Texas A&M, I think, is a pretty safe bet there. Also, Texas A&M probably won't get there, although I think it's safe over St. Mary's, so that doesn't hurt me too bad. Arizona and Villanova, that's a fun matchup. This year, I think it is Arizona, but just historically, that they've been good teams. Maybe not exactly at the same time, but cool matchup. Wisconsin, Arkansas. I'll go Wisconsin. I have no... Oh, that's the Calipari team, isn't it? Is it John Calipari that's doing that now? They were like a 13 seed last year or something dumb. BYU, Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga's just easily beating them. Purdue and Missouri. I really don't like Purdue, but I think they're playing good basketball right now, so I feel like I have to. Michigan, I like the Michigan schools. Alabama or Texas Tech. The Red Raiders or the Crimson Tide. I think Alabama peaked like 2 years ago, and I don't think they're doing quite as good, so we'll go Texas Tech. Tennessee or Virginia. Virginia always seems to let me down in these tournaments, but so does Tennessee. The Battle of the Oranges. Because they both normally let me down, I'll go with the higher seed, and Iowa State will take over Santa Clara. And I think they'd beat Kentucky too, honestly, so I'm okay with going for an upset here. I don't think that will hurt me as much. I wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky beat Iowa State, but I feel safer. I do have to knock out my normal winners with Duke. Michigan State and UConn. This is a huge game, but I'm going to go UConn. Who's the 1 seed that I knocked out over here? Where the heck did they go? Where is the 1 seed on this side? Am I insane? Oh no, it was Duke. I didn't go far enough down. Florida over Vanderbilt very easily. And ooh. Do we want to go with a 6 seed? Yeah, sure. We'll go with a 6 seed into the quarterfinals. North Carolina can beat Houston. I don't know if I believe it, but I'll do it. Arizona, I like over Wisconsin. Purdue and Gonzaga. I have to go Gonzaga. I have much more faith in them than I do anything Purdue-based. Maybe it's because they lost to FDU in the first round a couple years ago, but I just have no faith in them. Michigan, like in the Michigan schools. Iowa State, I don't trust Virginia with anything in basketball to do what I need them to do. So that's the thing. We got Duke and UConn. That's a great matchup. I like how they just say final rounds. They don't actually... Okay, whatever. This is our quarterfinals. It's the only one that they don't name is the quarterfinal. That seems a little unnecessary. Whatever. Man. I don't know, man. I want to say UConn because I have furniture on it, but I don't know if I believe that. I think it's going to be Duke. We'll stay over here because we got it here. Arizona and Gonzaga. Gonzaga technically considered a mid-major, apparently. Number 1 on the mid-major ranking. That feels a little rude to every other mid-major in existence. But we're going to go with them over Arizona. And it's funny because normally I have like a bracket where I just make Arizona win no matter who they are. And in a year where they're a 1, I'm not even going to put them in the Final Four, which feels a little rude. We do have Florida. I think Florida's the best team over North Carolina, and I got to go Michigan over Iowa State. The Michigans look good. I put 3 out of 4 number 1s, and I don't believe that. And the only one that I really could change, in my opinion, is UConn beating Duke. And I'm going to do that because I think Duke's injured, is what I heard from somebody. I didn't fact check that at all. But we'll have Florida beat either one. Am I going to be insane and ride Gonzaga all the way to the final? No. We're going to have Michigan lose to Florida. That's what we're going to do. That's how we're going to do that one. All right, let's switch over to the women's side. that switch correctly? Yes. Okay. In the women's bracket, UConn easily beating. Ooh. We'll take Syracuse over Iowa State. Good to see a Syracuse team in a bracket. Maryland and Murray State. We'll go Maryland. North Carolina, Western Illinois. That feels easy. Notre Dame over Fairfield. That also feels easy. I believe that's a long MAC team. I have no faith in them beating Notre Dame. Ohio State over Howard. Illinois and Colorado. I feel like early on in the women's bracket, you do just have to go the higher seed, Vanderbilt over High Point. South Carolina's beating anybody. I don't know what those two teams are, but they're both losing. We'll go USC over Clemson. Michigan State easily over Colorado State. Oklahoma over Idaho. Washington over South Dakota State. We got North Dakota State in the men's side. TCU or UC San Diego. Georgia, don't care. They can beat anybody who's in that. FDU, get out of here. Iowa's winning. UCLA over California Baptist. They got in for both men's and women's. That's pretty cool. Oklahoma State, Princeton. You know what? I'm not taking a 9 seed on that one. Ole Miss, Gonzaga. You know my infatuation for Gonzaga. I don't know if I can do it on the women's side. I'm going to do it. Minnesota over Green Bay. Minnesota in basketball. Holy cow. Baylor, we'll take them over whoever the heck those people are. Duke over Charleston. We'll go Villanova over Texas Tech. That's just a pure men's thing, but maybe it'll happen. LSU will beat Jacksonville. Texas over whoever those people are. Oregon, Virginia Tech. Let's go with the Ducks. Kentucky over James Madison. West Virginia over Miami of Ohio again. Goodness gracious. They've put money into both their basketball programs. Alabama over Rhode Island. Get out of here, Rhode Island. Louisville over UVM. Heck yeah, UVM. Good for you. NC State. What is that Tennessee logo? Oh, that is the Tennessee. That is not the men's Tennessee logo. Is it? Where the heck was Tennessee? Hold on. Am I insane? No, that's the men's Tennessee logo. Why is the women's Tennessee logo? Oh, does it say women's in it? I don't know what's going on there, but that's a thing that happens. We're going to go NC State, who were not in the men's tournament, actually, now that I think about it. They had a good run for both last year. Michigan over Holy Cross, my goodness. Not who I expected to see in this tournament. All right, UConn, this does have to end Syracuse's run. North Carolina over Maryland. I do like Notre Dame in women's basketball. They're a good team. Vandy over Illinois. South Carolina over USC. That just has to happen. Michigan State or Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma has the edge on this. TCU, Washington. We'll just go with the higher seed because I know nothing. Iowa will beat Georgia. UCLA over Oklahoma State. Minnesota, Gonzaga. That's your run over. I kind of have to do that because I don't believe you winning this game anyway. Duke will beat Baylor probably. I don't know. We'll end Villanova's run against LSU. Texas is going to be Oregon. I feel like the 1 seed just kind of going out in the first 2 rounds. We'll take Kentucky over West Virginia. That's probably wrong, but I like it. Alabama over Louisville. No, I'll take Louisville over Alabama. Was Louisville in this? Hold up. Did I miss out? I feel like Louisville didn't make the men's side. Oh, no, they did. They're winning a game. That's not terrifying. I know what I'm talking about. We'll take Michigan over NC State. All right. UConn. Yeah, go for it. You're just going. Not even thinking about that. I really like Notre Dame with women's basketball. That might be like a 3 years ago thing, but I like it. South Carolina over Oklahoma. We'll take Iowa over TCU. Who knows? UCLA over Minnesota. That's far enough for a hockey school to make it. LSU over Duke. That's for sure. Texas over Kentucky. Mostly because I don't think they'll win that game, so I have to pick Texas now to balance it out. Michigan. We're taking the Michigans. We're riding Michigan hot this year in both because, they're both high seeds anyway. So is it really riding them hot when they're 1 and 2 seeds? No. UConn. That's where they knock out the Dame. We'll take LSU. That feels fun. Feels like a fun start to our Final Four. South Carolina, easy. Oh, that's going to be a great Final Four matchup, and we'll take Michigan. We got the 1 seeds versus the 2 seeds, and we're going UConn. They look nasty this year. And this is where we'll end the Michigan run. Actually, do we put Michigan in both just for fun? Because I have no clue who's going to win this game if this matchup even happens. We'll run Michigan on both, and we'll have UConn win in the final. Because the UConn women are just insane. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We got UConn winning, and we got Florida winning. And we got Michigan losing in both. Because that just feels like a fun thing to do. Not for Michigan, but for everybody else involved. Those are my men's and women's brackets for March Madness. Let me know your thoughts on those, where you disagree. I was going to say where you agree, but mostly where you disagree. That's a lot more fun. In the comments down below. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.